oils.
You
If
don't
you hate it, you should probably use it.
probably need it. See, like, but my whole life I've never liked floral scents. I'm not a
So
floral.
you
I
could
like
just not
flowers,
like
but
see.
We're live. Yay! Welcome everybody. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you guys. I just saw it pop up on the screen. I'm like, woohoo, we did it! Hi, friends. If you're
Hi
on there.
everybody.
All right, you guys can finish your conversation too. I got excited. No, they
Oh, is there a delay?
Yes, there's a little bit of a delay. I turned
I'll
the
let you do your thing. We can talk later.
That's right. No, we were talking about emotional releases, and there is. When I first started using cedarwood, I put in the diffuser. It's supposed to help you sleep good. I was having insane dreams. I'm like, this is not good sleep. And then I went through just a spell where I was like really like things I hadn't thought about for a while just kept, but it's like almost helped me work through them, you know? I tried to explain to other people, and I felt like I sounded like I probably needed to be institutionalized, and I might have, like that. But, so, okay, we got 4 people on, and we've got Amy here with me.
Hi everybody.
And we've got Stephanie, who doesn't want to be on camera. We might get a picture of her later. And we're going to start talking about our back to school essentials. Did you want a bottle of water, Amy, before we get started?
I'm good.
Okay. So I think I'm going to start the same way I do with any other class and tell you guys a little bit about why I do essential oils. Stephanie already had to hear this story, so she's going to have to hear it again. And Amy's heard it like 12 times.
That's okay.
Or more. But it was about a little over a year ago in, let's see, June, our anniversary. My mom bought, and my sister-in-law Amber bought us an anniversary present of the starter kit. And the reason they bought it for me, you'd think, why didn't I invest in it myself, right? Why didn't I buy it? Well, my husband and my father, they all work at a health food store, a family-owned health food store that it's our family's business. And so, in my mind, I got all my essential oils free. They can't be that much better that I was going to go out and pay insane prices for little tiny bottles of oil. I'm thinking, especially, I was comparing prices for, I don't see it quickly, but like lavender and peppermint and lemon, and I thought, I don't know, a lot of these oils are twice as much money. I can't imagine why I'd have to spend that kind of money, especially if I can get them free. And some of the ones I was getting free said organic on the labels, right? So I thought, this is good stuff. But I would call them up and be like, so what do I do for, or, you know, I've heard that this can do that. Have you tried that? And they'd be like, yeah, it's great. And I'd go to the store, get my oil, and bring it home, and I would try it, and I could not get the same results. And so I'm like, yeah, this is a bunch of hooey. This isn't for real. And I'd get frustrated, and I'd start seeing stories other people are posting, and I'd be like, yeah, that stuff doesn't work, or they're just trying to sell me something. So they decided, since I wasn't going to back down, that they were just going to get the kit for me. And they did, and I'm so glad they did. I was excited to get the diffuser. You had made the comment, Stephanie had made the comment that the Young Living diffuser works so much better. It does. I have 2 other diffusers, and they don't put out half the mist. In my little girls, I had a really beautiful one up here. It's like a ceramic base. But I could never smell it in this room, so I stuck it in my girls' room that's 10 by 10. And if I put 8 to 10 drops, I can smell. Yeah. And I thought it's a shame to me to waste the oil, so they only get cheap oils like cedarwood at night till I could get another diffuser for their room. But this one I could put probably 2 drops of purification in and smell throughout the entire house. So I was excited to get that. And then the aha moment came where I actually got a chance to use these oils for something that was important to me. I was visiting my mom, and one of the same common complaints came up with our family, and she says, oh, you're not using your oils. And I'm like, well, sure, I diffuse them all the time. And so the situation was with my little girl. She called her over, and she showed her how to apply the oil, and everything changed. I'm like, no, I've tried that before with lavender. It doesn't work. Everything changed. The whole moment turned around. It was like the light bulb went off. And things that we had been struggling with for a long time, and she's a healthy kid. I mean, don't get me wrong, she's not like sickly. But things that, that we had concerns about, she was like in an instant, all of a sudden I'm like, oh, okay, I have a solution now to keep her well or for her wellness. that doesn't involve, something that I'm afraid is toxic in her system. So that was kind of like the big moment for me. I was like, wow, there is something to this. Maybe they were right. Maybe they weren't just giving me a line. Maybe they hadn't just drank the Kool-Aid, right?
Yeah.
So from there, I went and got myself a little pocket reference guide. They sell them little spiral bound books. And I went and got a pocket reference guide. And I started, anytime something would come up, I'd look through it. And you can get them, they're on Amazon, Kindle. There's an app for it, an Essential Oils Pocket Reference Guide, or it's something to that, Essential Oils Reference Guide. And then they sell them on like Life Science Publishers or Discover LSP, I think it's the same website.com. So those are some places if you guys don't already have a reference guide to get one. But yeah, that was like when things started rolling for me and I started using them. And then a couple months later, I was just telling Stephanie this, that I was here at the house when my mom came to visit, and she wanted me to have a couple girlfriends over so she could talk about the oils. And I thought, well, okay, I guess it's not a big deal. At this point, I was starting to fall in love with them. I was like, that would be kind of fun. And that's what ended up happening that got me into it as a business. Amy was here. A couple of my other friends, before the month was over, 4 of my friends had enrolled with Young Living. And the next month I got a check. I was like, wow, where'd this come from? That's cool. I can buy more oils. Yippee! I was so excited. So we did. I probably spent the entire check on more Young Living oils. But it was fun, and I thought, that all of a sudden that moment came too, whereas I was getting my oils for free before, but now I was getting something that worked, something that was changing my family's health and wellness for the better, helping us have optimal health, and I wasn't paying for them again, and that really sent me soaring. And then Amy had friends that were enrolling, and a few other people enrolled, so before long we were having to have classes of our own. And so that's how it kind of snowballed with our Young Living story. That was the long, short story. But, and the reason really I think why Young Living works and what has helped me fall in love with more than just the oils, but the company itself, is their Seed to Seal promise. And I think most of the people that are on the call, oh yeah, you got your pin on. That's awesome. Most people that are on the call probably have a product guide. But in the front cover, it explains the Seed to Seal promise and the different steps it takes. So from the seed being certified non-GMO because it's their unique seed that they've recaptured the seeds from the year before, to when they cultivate it in the soil. This is an interesting tip I learned, that they don't just buy organic farms. The soil has to be at least 50 years without any pesticides, because prior to 50 years, most of the pesticides and things that could have been used were not chemically manufactured the same way, so they could break down in the soil. In the last 50 years, a lot of the pesticides don't break down, and so they're starting to accumulate in people's cells. So that's why they've put a time limit on how far back it has to be where it's organic, which I thought that's a really cool thing. And I should be up on the names of all the chemicals, but that would be too hard to recall them instantly. The next step is their distillation process. Essential oils, this was just something I learned at conventions. Different ones and the different blends and such, they have to be picked at a certain time. Some have to be dried for a certain length of time. So the process is more than just picking a plant and distilling it. There's a really great video put out by, I believe it's Oracacia, so it's on their YouTube channel, I think. And they're describing this distillation process, and it's kind of cool to see. They're really proud of it. I think it was Patchouli in the video. And
you're right.
Yeah, Patchouli. And I'm not trying to rank on them. This was something they set up, and I understand why they did it. But they're buying the oils from small farmers. That's a great thing to do, is to support small farmers. But they show the gentleman distilling it in his homemade distillery, which is obviously, it can't be stainless steel. It doesn't look like stainless steel. The only other thing you could distill in is iron or aluminum. And if it was iron, it would have ended up with rusting in it. So generally that's not used. So it's usually aluminum. It's malleable, and they can pound it in, and they can make a home distillery out of it. Well, essential oils are powerful. We're smelling them through our olfactory. They're working on our brain. I don't want anything with aluminum going there. So I thought it was a really interesting video. In spite of what they're trying to teach us in purchasing from the small farmer, there are some benefits to having a company that builds their distilleries on their farms from stainless steel that's packaged in glass. He was the other scene they cut to the it was like a farmer's market or something, right? And they're buying the oils in plastic water bottles.
Right.
Used
plastic water bottles.
I'm like, great way to recycle. I think I'll pass.
Oh no.
So just to give you an idea, and I understand again why they wanted to show it and supporting the small farmer, but when it comes to my health, there are certain things I look for. Then it's testing. They have an extensive testing process.
Not only
then
do they
sealing.
test it themselves, but
Yeah.
they have third-party people test it.
Yeah, which is cool. And so these were some of the selling points for me. It was, oh, that explains why there's a difference.
I also thought it was really interesting in the Seed to Seal video, I believe it was, if an oil doesn't meet Gary's standards, he passes it on and sells it to other oil companies. So he doesn't even use it if it doesn't meet his standards with all of the different qualifications on what he wants the oil to have in it.
Oh, and somebody had told me too, as far as that cultivate part of it, they hand pick the weeds and then they'll use the matter that's left from the distillery, like peppermint naturally deters the bugs, so they'll use that around for weeding and composting the plants, or mulching the plants is probably the better word. So here's my story, and that's why I went with Young Living. But let's get to what you guys came for, and this is the back to school essentials. And I was telling Stephanie, I don't know why your name slipped there, Stephanie, that I had emailed some of the people on my team and said, what are your biggest concerns this year with going back to school? Everybody's answer is the same thing for number one, and it's immunity. I want to support my immunity, and not just that of my children, but mine. So yeah, because they go to school and anything that they encounter there is brought home. So I want to support my family's immunity. The second thing was probably pretty predictable too. How can I help my kids focus better on their schoolwork? And then the third thing was surprising to me, and it was the emotion and social stresses that come from school. And not just for the kids, but for the moms. And I thought, well, yeah, some attention does need to be given to that because moms are under a lot of stress with school. After an entire summer where we get freedom of play whatever we want, now we're on this insane schedule. I'm a homeschool mom, and so that I'm not disqualified from that. It's just the insanity stays right here in the house. So how can mom get some support for those kinds of just everyday stresses? And even the kids, a few of the people that emailed me back mentioned their daughters specifically. They face a lot of social stresses at school. So I thought that deserves some attention. Okay, so here's the number one thing I want to talk about then. Immunity, right? What can we do for our immunity? Well, since it involves the whole family, my first suggestion is going to be a family-centered one. And I'm going to read this because this is just how they said it at convention. Are you looking for a silver bullet to better health and wellness? Improve your mood, your sleep, your concentration, your motivation, your sex drive? Not for our kids. To protect your heart from disease and every other system in the body? Well, there is a silver bullet that does exist. And Amy's like, you're about to go non-compliant. That is no good. No, this is totally compliant. It's not even very expensive. Do you know what it is? Any guesses? You already know what I'm going to say. The secret is, are you ready? Paper, pen, write this down. Exercise. Exercise. So you don't even have to buy it. It doesn't come in a bottle. 30 minutes a day of sweat-producing exercise, which for me and probably most people is like fast walking.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I don't have to go running to get sweat going. So fast walking, 30 minutes a day. And it's great for your immunity and boosting up your system. So that's the top of the list. If you guys aren't doing that and you want to improve your overall body health, start there. Don't even buy the kit if you don't already have it. Don't buy another oil. Get out there and commit to 30 minutes of exercise a day. The second most important thing, I think, and this is where a lot of my opinion starts to come in, is nutrition. Nutrition is the second most important thing.
It's been proven.
And that, especially with our children that are growing, they need it for their brain health. They need it for supporting their bones and the structure of their body. And they also need it to support them emotionally. My daughter, I'm telling you, if I don't feed her every 3 hours, she is hangry. Right.
She is angry.
She is angry. So it's an important thing to concentrate on nutrition. So a few of the things that I thought I'd bring up is, first of all, this is probably a no-brainer. There's too much sugar in our food. There's too many
Absolutely.
food dyes in our food, too many colors, and too many chemicals in our food. And a lot of these things, the dyes and the sugar and the colors and the chemicals, they're all marketed to our kids. That's where you see them mostly. Flavor ice popsicles, which is food dye, sugar, and water that's frozen. I mean, this is what my kids love to get when they get a chance to. And these are the things that are marketed to kids, so we have to take an extra effort to teach them how to eat healthy and learn to love the things that are good for them, because the other stuff's addictive. They're going to learn to love that hardly without a thing with us trying. So we have to read labels. We have to plan ahead. We're busy. Moms are busy. I mean, trying to pack a lunch to send a kid off to school. For me, trying to pack a snack bag for us to go on a field trip, it could get insane. I just want something quick that I could grab it. So we have to plan ahead. It also saves our sanity because they start eating that stuff and most kids get wired. I think that that's pretty common knowledge that sugar and food coloring and chemicals in foods can do that to our kids. So there's a few good alternatives to cutting out the sugar. Amy and I have been doing Trim Healthy Mama for a couple years. She's lost 60 pounds. That's why she looks so great. And so we've really learned a lot of ways to incorporate stevia into our food, or using like a blend. We try to find one that's as chemical free as possible. So the blend we're using is erythritol, which is a sugar alcohol, and stevia, but it's a gentle one on the stomach. A lot of people have a hard time with any of those sugar alcohols. And that one's also safe for kids' stomach. Even xylitol is a little too harsh for, I don't know if you could do it, xylitol.
I worry about it with the dog, so I don't
Yeah,
have it
so you
at
don't
home.
even use it much. But you can work some of these alternatives into it. Now, with kids, I think kids can do coconut sugar mostly.
Right.
Agave nectar, Rapadura, which is like an unprocessed cane sugar. Even cane sugar as a syrup is generally well received by them. And Young Living has a protein powder that they've come out with, which is, it's really kind of cool. They've taken whey protein and goat whey and pea protein and a few other different things to get a balanced amino acid profile in them. They've mixed in Elev ATP, which is great for energy production and the breakdown of these proteins, plus a little bit of apple fiber and things to help us absorb them into our system. There's enzymes in there. It's flavored good. There is a little sugar in it, but I think for somebody that's an average healthy weight, or for our kids especially, this is a great alternative. So you can make them, what was it used to be? Like Carnation instant breakfast.
Right.
Isn't that what people used to drink, Carnation? This would be a much better alternative to that.
Absolutely.
So you'd have that as an option. Then these sleek bars I like, and they actually don't have much sugar in them. They have nuts and almonds, and they have a little bit of honey and dates, which do have some carbs to it, but overall with the fiber content, they're less than 15 carbs a piece, which is pretty good. And if you do Trim Healthy Mama, that's it might not be totally on plan, but it would be an easy snack when you're starving to have, and it would be great for the kids. Even my kids like them. It's gluten-free. There's quinoa instead in it, and yeah, it's a good alternative. And now they make them chocolate covered, so who doesn't love chocolate covered anything, right? So then there's that, and a few other things. I don't know if you, Stephanie, your box came with a couple packets of these, the Ninja Red. This is a great alternative. My 2-year-old begs for her juice every morning until I give it to her. My 9-year-old doesn't like it, just to be honest. I can't get him to drink it unless I hide it in a smoothie. And my 4-year-old's a bit indifferent. She doesn't really care. But the 2-year-old loves it, and it's great because it's full of all the antioxidants and things, which is good for fighting free radicals in our systems. Let's see, what else? Balance Complete, Power Meal, Pure Protein, Sleek, and Ninja Red. Those were my favorites as far as the nutrition. And then it's the next thing to do is, well, we cannot possibly, with the food the way it is and the way it's farmed and the culture of farming in this country, we can't possibly get all the nutrients anymore that we need from our food. So I think supplementing, and this is an opinion I had prior to Young Living, supplementing is important. and this might come from my background with working at the health food store, but I think that everybody needs a multivitamin to fill in the gaps. Young Living's just reformulated their master formula. It used to be a his and a hers. Now it's broad spectrum for everybody. And they also have True Source, which is another one that they have. A few other ones I like, in not that I don't love all things Young Living, but there are other companies I think that that you can get a few products from. The only other one I really like as far as a whole food multivitamin is Mega Food. And I think, but the truth is, you're going to be paying as much, if not more, for theirs as Young Living's, which I think is comparable.
And the Young Living has the infused oil, which makes them more bioavailable
Yeah.
To our cells and systems.
So, and just because I want to be fair, that's the only thing that is even kind of close at the store that I've ever taken in the past. They also have a vitamin for kids, which is really good. And my daughter, I bought this for. It's the enzymes, and I don't know if you've seen them. They don't have the sugar in it. They use an apple sugar to sweeten it, and I find it's great for her just to support her stomach and support. I actually think it's good for her all of her support.
And it has
to
a really
absorb the
nice broad
nutrients.
spectrum enzymes, and it also has the carrot root oil and peppermint.
Yeah.
So those are really good for digestion too.
So, and I actually keep these in my bag because I use them. As crazy as that sounds, I like that you could chew them up, and I think they start working really quick. You're welcome to try one if you want. I don't have the Essentialzyme 4. I only have the Essentialzyme left, which is what is great to use in between meals. So it helps to break down like proteins that might have not gotten digested. And these are the things that, as they start, they could cause irritation through our system. So I think
Free radicals.
the proteins that don't get broke down in our system when we eat.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a great way to describe it.
That's more for adults, this for children?
This is going to be a tablet.
Oh, okay.
And they have one that it's capsules, and it's a little packet of, is it 3 or 4 pills in there? And each one covers like a different area. So one's going to help you with your carbs. It's got amylase in it, and one's got protease in it for your protein breakdown, and for your fat breakdown, I think it's a lipase.
Yes.
So you've got a little bit of each, and I think they might be mixed up in there. I don't remember all the details on how it's planned. The only other enzyme company that I've been fond of, and this is what I've been using in the meantime, because a few of them are out of stock, like Essentialzyme's now out of stock, is this Enzymedica. They're out of Florida, and so like Allerzyme right now is out of stock from Young Living, and I was really looking forward to using that one. So I've been using this in the meantime, which isn't quite as good, but it's
Helping in a pinch.
yeah, it's working in a pinch. But I think the essential oils, just like you said, you had started taking the essential oils in a capsule, so now it's like both in one capsule, which is always nice to take less. So as far as filling in the gaps, it's take your multivitamin. It's the enzymes I think are truly important. Probiotics I think are important. There's Life 5 with Young Living. I think it's great to use it, but I also think it's a good idea to every month or so to switch back and forth. So Life 5 1 month, and then this brand is Up, another one I like, because then you get more differences in the strands, of the probiotics you're using, and I think it's a good idea to do that. But look for one that's high quality. Usually they're found in the refrigerator, so that it doesn't kill it off. And then the other thing I think is important is to have fish oil in our systems. There's so much benefits to fish oil. I use the Omega Giants. I know Amy's been using this forever.
Every day.
Yeah. Now you had been using a different brand before this, right?
I have, and I really enjoy that brand. It also, it has the CoQ10 in it, which I think really helps the oils absorb, and it really works well with your brain system.
One thing that I learned at Shannon's last event, there was the product developer, Mark Schroeder, was there, and he says when they were developing that, one thing they knew was that the antioxidants that are in fish oil, are not the antioxidants, but the constituents that are in fish oil, to get them to absorb into our system, we need a fat-soluble antioxidant. So they added clove oil to it because it is the highest antioxidant known to man. Clove oil. Isn't that something? So they got clove oil in there as well. The other thing I like about it is that you don't burp it up.
Exactly. I never burp it up ever, and I take it every single day.
Yeah. How many do you take?
I just do
Impromptu
2 a
question.
day.
Just 2?
I do.
And you still find it pretty effective? I think
I
the
do find
package
it-
said 4.
The packaging says 2 to 4 a day,
Oh, okay.
and so I just use 2 in the morning. I'm not really good at taking pills twice a day, so if
That's
I can
been
get
my
them
problem.
all in the morning, then that's what I try to do.
That's been my problem is I take 2 in the morning and totally mean to take more later in the day and I forget. But I have been liking that. So multivitamin, enzymes to help you digest your food, which they have Essentialzyme for in between and then Essentialzyme 4 for your meals, and a fish oil and a probiotic. That's kind of like if you had to have table legs to help support your tabletop of wellness, that's what it's going to be. And then vitamin D is needed to tie it all together. So instead of taking a whole bunch of different products, that's also in Omega Gies, which is really cool.
And it's really interesting because I went to the doctor and I had my cholesterol panel done, and everything was great because of Trim Healthy Mama, except my doctor told me to take fish oil to bring up a level that was not in the right spot. So fish oils are really important to help balance and work with your doctor and balance your system.
Yeah, vitamin D is important for that. So if you have kids and they can't take the capsule of Omega Gies, my 9-year-old can, but the 4-year-old probably, it'll be a while before she can take a capsule. Everything gags her. So we just give her like Carlson's or a quality brand off a spoon of the fish oil. Let's see, another one I really like is the Green Pastures. I haven't bought it lately, but that one's like a gel, and you can put it on a spoon, and they've got a cinnamon flavor one, and it's like a fermented fish oil, so you get some of the extra benefits of it. And yeah, if you get the unflavored, it's stinky. But just an alternative. And then MindWise is another supplement that they have. You could give kids, but I keep going back to I still think fish oil is important. So if you have to buy something in the meantime that's not for me and living, that's what I do.
And MindWise is an amazing thing. Leah makes this very special drink for me every once in a while, and she puts the Ninja, the MindWise, and alkaline, and it just gives you that mental elevation and focus and stimulation without any of the caffeine feelings. I could drink it at night and still go to sleep, where I can't drink caffeine after 1 o'clock or I'll be up all night. So
Yeah.
It's really great for focus and helping the brain.
So we've gone through exercise and the importance of that. Nutrition and supplementing where there's deficiencies or gaps in our diet is really the better way to say it. The other thing I want to talk about, which is, again, it doesn't cost, is sleep. And it's important for adults. We know it. We don't need as much as kids do. It's super
I don't know about that.
No. You might need the 12 to 14 hours, right? Especially the little kids. And then I think they don't want to believe it, but teenagers, they get to that point again, and there's so much brain development going on. They need sleep. And so quality sleep is important. And it starts with, not an oil, it starts with timing. It starts with keeping a consistent schedule daily as much as possible. It starts with turning off anything that emits blue light as it starts to get dark out, which for us is the hardest thing. But by 9 o'clock, we need to start shutting things down. And just getting into that routine. If your kids do the baths before bed, that helps wind them down, the bedtime story, all that's part of the process and the timing of it. And then the other thing is even waking up at a consistent time. I know sometimes we want to stay in bed on the days we don't have to do anything, but it ends up throwing our schedule off the rest of the week a little bit.
It does. In the class that we went to with Shannon, she said no matter what time you go to bed, get up at the same time, and then the next night you'll slowly get yourself into a routine. But that wake up time is really important for the consistency, because then your body hits a rhythm.
Yeah. Although that's got to be really hard if you wake up at, what time do you have to get up at? 5 to work at the daycare. But so those are a few tips on that. Now, there are oils that are great to support healthy sleep cycles, and just a few of them. For my kids, what they love and what I use every night is Sleepy Eyes. And I have a roller ball on the top of it. My little girls, they know, they just rub it across their forehead. They always want to do it themselves. This one I really like because it smells a little bit like the rutavala and the lavender together, and it makes it a little more of a palatable smell. Here, I'll pass this one to you because rutavala, well, it's got valerian in it.
I
don't know if
actually
you've ever
love
smelled it.
rutavala. I find
You
it very
do?
comforting.
Jackson loves the smell of rutavala, and I'm like, ew, to me it's stinky.
It does. Valerian smells like stinky socks.
Yeah.
Can I smell the sleepy one?
Yeah, Sleepy Eyes is this one, and this is one in the kid scents, one of the kid scents. So they come diluted, so that it's safe for any little
Similar.
kid. Yeah, it's similar, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's safe for a little kid to use just straight out of the bottle, because kids tend to have more sensitive skin. So we gotta, oops. So in a lot of cases, it's dilution is a good idea, but there's rutavala, which is great for it. It's in this light purple bottle. Everybody knows about lavender, right? I think everybody knows how awesome lavender is for inducing calm and relaxation in your home. And then the other one is peace and calming. And this is probably one of the ones that put Young Living on the map,
Yes.
is peace and calming. Have you smelled it before?
Peace and calming is amazing.
Peace and calming is currently out of stock.
There is a peace and calming too, though, which is actually very similar in smelling, and I really like it.
So to make mine last, I put it 50-50 with a roller bottle, and now I'm down to one bottle left. So hopefully it'll get me through. But I've heard good reviews about the peace and calming too.
Yes.
I'm just afraid that like this works so good,
Yes, it's hard to try something new.
hard to go with something else. So good sleep. The other thing that I like for sleep is Valor, and I know that might sound contrary, but this is something I noticed with my son, who's he's a creative kid, and his mind starts to race, and he'll be laying there in bed at night, and he's thinking of a gazillion things, and I'll even look in his room while he's sleeping, and he's like moving around in the bed. And Valor, I've noticed, helps kind of rein his mind in, helps him get a different level of calm, so that he gets a more restful night's sleep. So that if I use the Valor the next day, he seems to be able to focus better, which is really cool. So I like Valor for that. So those are a few ideas for the sleep part of it. Let me see, I tried to write down as many things as I could remember. Oh, Tranquil, which is a roll-on, which would be great to leave by your bedside, and they have a rutavala roll-on,
Yes.
right? So those are good ones. I've heard some people have Stress Away for sleep, but I will wake up in 2 hours and be hungry if I am
Right.
diffusing Stress Away. It's got that vanilla lime flavoring scent to it, and seriously, I'm like dreaming of key lime pie and waking up. So I can't do that, but some people like that. Magnesium is really good for calming and relaxing, and so you could always use that. You could either take, they have a CalMag, Mega Cal, which is a powder, I think.
Yes.
And then Super Cal, maybe is the other one, supercalifragilistic, right? So that those are good to have too, to help just with that calm. Depending on how much support you need, or if your body needs those extra minerals. Let me think. The other ones I had Sleep Essence, which is a capsule. It comes similar to this one. Oh, that one was an empty bottle I put out. But it comes in a little capsule, which is easy. You could just pop it in. Some people just prefer that. They don't want to smell it all night long. Or their partner doesn't want to smell it all night long.
I really like this supplement. Oh, this is in your defense.
You
but
had, Sleep Essence.
I do
You
have
tried
the
it.
Sleep Essence, and I really like it, especially to do some other things. I like to do is it the Idaho Balsam Fir?
Oh, yeah.
To do the Idaho Balsam Fir and then take the Sleep Essence really brings a restful night's sleep.
That's cool. That's good to know. And cedarwood is always great. That's what we were talking about right at the beginning of somehow, sometimes the oils will produce emotions in us. So we're like, where did that come from? And that was cedarwood for me, but now I love it. I diffuse that one nightly. So those are a few ideas for getting through, a nice restful sleep. So those are the top 3 that I think that cover as far as keeping our immune system strong, because now we're supporting our entire body and all our body systems. So what we need to do now is think about, okay, well, what about the basic everyday things that we're encountering every time we go out. We've done everything we can. Now, what can we do to now take it to the next level? Go from we're great, healthy, and well to now optimal. And I think that's where all the Thieves products come in. And the hand soap, I actually, when we come in, especially during the fall season, that's what I make my kids do. First thing they do is just wash your hands. Washing your hands is a simple thing to do. To, you know, 'cause their hands are always on their face, and
it smells wonderful.
yeah, it smells pretty good. I have the little hand sanitizer, but we're just so out of that habit because all the ones you get at the store are full of chemicals. So we hadn't used them for so long. So I end up actually, and the other thing is I've squished a couple of them in my purse, which ends up making a mess. So I end up taking the spray with us wherever we go, and I'll spray their hands just as a way. There's a little alcohol in there so it absorbs up quick, and I'll have them use that on their hands or on the surface of things like shopping carts. And then the other thing, back to the nutrition part, they came out with a bunch of new products, these products. So this is the fruit and veggie soak, and then this is the fruit and veggie spray. This is kind of cool. When I was at convention, the fruit and vegetables that you'd have access to, like from the breakfast cart at the hotel in the morning, I was afraid to eat them. Who knows what they're covered in, right?
Yes.
So I took them to the demo stand and had them spray them and clean them for me every day, which was kind of nice. And then I got my own little to keep.
I'm so used to eating organic fruits and vegetables that I have purchased some things at Costco that were not organic, and I couldn't even finish my bag of pears because of the taste of them.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to try this new
See if
veggie
it'll
wash.
get it all off. That's cool. This one kind of smells like Digest, just so nobody's alarmed when they get it. Which is, here, I'll have it here in case you want to smell it, Stephanie.
I think I have that one.
Digest?
Doesn't it come with the thing?
Oh,
It does
yeah,
now.
it does come with the kit.
Is this the really stinky one?
It's stinky. It has a stinkiness, but my son, that's another one he likes. He likes the stinky ones. Do you know what though? He likes tarragon, which is like black licorice.
Yes.
And so that's one of his oils that he keeps on hand. So, so Thieves, they've got a whole line of it. There's also Inner Defense, which is you're taking Thieves oil. It's in a soft gel with like 4 different kinds of oregano oil. And oregano oil, I mean, do your research, look them up online. That's some awesome stuff. That is
Awesome
high
stuff.
test when it comes to immune support. These in a bottle, I usually take this and dilute it down 1 to 4 for my kids. And a lot of people say don't dilute, put it on straight and then cover it with an oil, but I need quick and easy and I can't sit and mix it in my hand every night. So I really just fill it up about a fourth or a fifth of the way, and then fill the rest with a carrier oil and put one of the roller tops on. So they get this on their feet before bed, and they get sleepy eyes on their forehead before bed.
And it's really nice to have the Thieves prepared in a bottle with a roller top because it is really quick and convenient to put on, and then you don't have to worry about mistakenly touching some of the more sensitive parts of your
It's
skin
hot.
and face. So
And that's true, and they've done that. They've all put their mouth on Panaway or peppermint or something that was spicier. And so it does help cut that back. Plus, for me, if it's not easy, I won't do it every night.
Yeah,
I'd like
exactly.
to be consistent with it. And then I put out a few other ones too that I like. Sniffle Ease is in the Kids Scent collection. And this is great, just you could either have them put it on their face or on the back of their neck. My kids like this one. I don't know, I haven't tried diluting any of them because they have carrier oils. I didn't know if I could. Tea tree oil is in here, which is great. I made a lot of cleaning products with the tea tree oil. It smells good. Rabbit Sarah and RC are 2 of my favorites to support healthy respiration.
yes.
And then my all-time favorite one is the Breathe Again. Maybe again because it's a roll-on and I like the ease of it.
It is. It's super easy to put on, and
Yeah, I keep it in my purse. So anytime I feel like I need that.
and then you forgot my favorite
Yeah, right.
is here the Purification. I love to put Purification around my ears. It really supports the respiratory system. It has, is it the lemongrass, and it also has the tea tree oil in it. And that is one of my favorite things.
I think that one came in your kit too.
You know, I love that one.
Here, I can move them forward too so you can see them all. I think RC was in the kit now,
I can't see
which
them
is
on the
great.
video.
And then, oops, Rabbit Sarah.
This
Yeah.
actually worked good for them to see.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I just want her to see
Oh, okay.
what they
I
were.
really like the Reverend Sarah. It's very gentle.
Can you
I
see that
saw
red
it
one, Sarah?
recommended
Yeah.
for children.
Yeah, I think everything here you could use pretty easily on a child over 4 with proper dilution. I put lemon out because I like lemon. I usually will add some if I'm making a tea with these.
Yes.
I'll put a drop of lemon in it as well.
And lemon is an old, you know, lemon and honey. My
Yeah.
grandmother used to make
Oh yeah,
for me.
historically people have used that forever just as a way to cleanse the palate, clear the throat, for sure. So a lot of these I put out are ones that I thought were great for kind of like seasonal stuff you might face. Tummy Jies, this is the one I often keep in my bag just to make sure everybody's comfortable after we've gone to dinner.
And tummy dries even works to help process all of the, if you have a lot of mucus, it will help your body to digest it.
Yeah, this, and if you want to smell it, Stephanie, it smells very similar to Jies, but with added spearmint or peppermint, something. It smells like spearmint.
It's better, yeah.
Yeah, so you get that in it, and then it's a little bit diluted so it's not too hot on their bellies or wherever you use it. So that covers all of those for boosting immunity. And, oh, and I set this out. You could get a carrier oil just about anywhere. This one I liked because it has raspberry seed and sweet almond oil. It's good for your face. So I thought if anybody wanted to try one and it got too spicy. The other one I'd like to talk about real quick, just to slip it in, because it was mentioned, although not in the top 3, was what do you do for your athlete? A lot of these kids are getting, they're really into sports, or they, Marlene, if she's out watching it, they've got a whole baseball team of friends. And a few of the things that I wanted to mention, and these are little kids, so they might not need this cool Azul, but I've come to really like this one. And it's got an aloe gel base, so it's easy to keep on and put on them. Huh? Yep. Yeah. Wintergreen is another great one. And Panaway. And I like to layer those up. And then this, it must be me and the roll-ons. I gotta roll them on. I keep Deep Relief in my purse.
I really love Deep Relief.
And it's limited to like 1 a month, so that's all you can get. So get it every month, because you'll use it. Fitness oil I keep in my gym bag, so I had to run through to find it. And I like just rubbing it on the inside of my wrists. You can use it with, it's mixed with peppermint and cypress and a few other ones. And I find it helps with endurance, which is really cool. This one's Aoi oil for the little ones in your family. What I like about this is a lot of the athlete kind of products have that cooling effect. And my littlest ones aren't fond of that. So you get all the same benefits in the Aoi oil without that kind of cooling feeling. They think that they're afraid it's going to get hot, even if it doesn't really get too hot. And then I put this out. I know it's not a Young Living product, but old-fashioned Epsom salts and bath salts. This is from the Great Salt Lake. Put a couple drops of oil in there and let your athlete soak in the tub if they're sore.
And Epsom salt is really great for soreness and after exercise to help the body to calm down and mend itself.
Yeah. Well, an occasional workout that pushes us a little harder and leaves us that kind of occasional soreness, that works really great for. And then follow it up with Ortho Ease.
I love Ortho
Yeah.
Ease. It's my favorite. I also have the Ortho Sport, but I really like the Ortho Ease better.
You like Ortho Ease better?
I do.
I don't even think I've smelled the Sport. Is it?
It's more pepperminty, but it has more of the icy hot kind of smell to it, where this is very calm and relaxing, the Ortho Ease.
Yeah. If I do exercise, and I'm telling you, fast walking will make me sweat, and in some cases, it will even leave me sore. You're just using a muscle that you haven't used. And I'm just now, after convention, they said you have to walk 30 minutes a day. And I thought, okay, I'm going to commit to it. But those first couple times you go out and do it, you're like, oh man, I'm not used to using those hip muscles that way, And so right afterwards, rubbing Ortho Ease on, even before any of that sets in, really helped to just to make it an easier day after. So I like that one. So that's a few suggestions for the athletes since it had come up in conversation. I thought I'd put some of those out there. And of course, peppermint is a good one too, and I don't have that out there with it. But now on to focus. Focus on homework. Focus. Yeah, right? Just having a conversation with your kids. Yeah, it seems like focus is a tough one for them. And I don't think it's against their natural behavior. It's just how they are. I think that maybe we have a higher expectation of kids that they need to be little adults, and they're not. But there are some things that we can do. In the diffuser we have going, tangerine and cedarwood. This one I really like to diffuse when we're doing our schoolwork together. Tangerine or any of the citruses really help elevate
Bergamot.
your mood. Yeah, you like bergamot.
I love bergamot and cedarwood together.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm gonna try that. Gotta get some bergamot. And then cedarwood has the calming effect. So you get the elevated mood. So people are, my kids are not arguing with each other, and then they're calm enough to sit and focus on something. So, and those are both inexpensive oils.
Yes.
I think around $15. I'm not sure how much cedarwood is. 11 maybe.
The cedarwood I think is $11.25
Yeah.
and maybe 12, and then I don't know how much the bergamot is.
Yeah.
I
So I
haven't-
love that though. I mean, inexpensive, right?
Yes.
And it's a great way, so I can diffuse it every single day without feeling guilty about any costs of it. So focus, oils that are great for focus. Number one, I think everyone would say is vetiver. Right? Have you ever tried vetiver? I'm going to pass that one to you. I've got them all in a line
Now
here.
the interesting thing about vetiver is
Yeah.
it smells very different out of the bottle than it does on your skin. So if you put it on your skin, wait, and when it is diffusing off of your skin or evaporating, it smells very different.
Yeah, put some on.
It's very thick
Yeah,
oil.
I like it on the inside of my wrist. Isn't that funny? She's like innately just wanted to put it there. It's like honey thick.
Oh.
So I would, put it right on your skin and see if some of it will start to come through. But vetiver, and it's did you get
Is
some
that
up that
enough?
way?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
and it is a little sticky. But I love the
But
smell.
it soaks in very nicely. It doesn't stay sticky on your
No.
skin at all.
So what I would do with Jackson, he made a blend. He calls it Mind Tricks, and we would mix vetiver and lavender and cedarwood in there. Those three, about 10 drops each in a 5 milliliter bottle that was empty, and we'd fill it up with carrier and put a roller ball top. And then we started adding actually sacred frankincense because we had read how historically it was used for enhancing spirituality, which not that we're trying to do anything, but the whole purpose of it is it helps you focus.
Right.
So back to that focus of it. So we mix some of that in there, and he loves it. I don't even know. I'm not sure that he would say it helps him focus. It's like his cologne.
Yeah.
He likes to wear it, and it does. It has that earthy smell, kind of manly smell, but the lavender takes the edge off of it. And then but he does like it. And he for a while there was taking it every time we went to our Kingdom Hall. So he'd use it there. So I think he knew in his head that it was a good place to use it, or he just wanted to smell nice for the ladies. I don't know.
But really, when we feel calm and ready
Yeah.
to focus, it's so much easier, especially to sit at the Kingdom Hall or to
Yeah.
sit and do schoolwork. Our kids know when they're, hyped up a little
Yeah.
bit, and it's hard to focus. It doesn't make it fun.
And it's funny because you had mentioned that you like using the lemon, peppermint, and lavender. That's another one I like to keep in a roller ball. And sometimes our problem is that we're drowsy and we're falling asleep and we need to be awake and concentrating. And that combination helps me out. So that's what I would like. I liked using it for, just to kind of wake up my mind a little bit so I could regain focus from that perspective. But a few other ones, cedarwood and tangerine is what we're diffusing. This is on my top 5 favorites list. Clarity. You want to smell that one? I love Clarity. One of the top oils in there is basil, and I didn't realize how much I was going to love the smell until I started using it.
Oh, that's good. Fresh.
Yeah, it's got that freshness to it. But I love Clarity. This one is from their Northern Lights farm. They've just started distilling the black spruce, and that's the #1 ingredient in Valor. So next
That's one
time,
you were talking about earlier?
No, Idaho balsam fir. Black
Oh, yeah.
spruce is the new.
yeah, so I like this one. So next time we make our roller blend, I might have to add some of that to it. And then there's another one. Where is this at? Genius, which takes, when I read the ingredients on this, and they now sell it singly, it has a lot of the similar ingredients to the roller ball I made Jackson. but it also has black pepper in it. Do you smell that in there? It's like,
Oh.
I know, you probably
don't
wouldn't
like
like it
this
as
one?
much.
I do not like black pepper. I probably need it, but I do not
Is
like
that funny?
black
I put a
pepper.
little bit on so I could be a genius today. Put it over my
And that's what it's
brain.
called, Gene.
It's called Genius, and it's also one of the kids' scents, but I really smell it. See if you hate
I hate it.
it.
I do not like black pepper.
So if you're, I've been mixing my own, but I'm getting more and more where let me just pop a rollerball top on it. So Genius might be where I go with that next. Frankincense is always a good choice.
I love to put frankincense just a drop right on the top of my head.
Yep. And then here's Sacred Frankincense, which to me it almost is like a deeper, almost cinnamony or scent to it, not flavor. And then this one I pulled out because as a mom, I don't have homework to do. I have bills to pay, right? I have to sit over here and sort papers and endless mail, and so I pulled out finance because this is what I usually, and if I have to sit and focus on a project, that's what I go for.
Smells like money to me.
Is finance, and that's from the Ula collection.
It is.
Isn't that
Very
strange?
subtle.
Yeah, it's subtle. And this diffuser, I usually have sitting over there on my desk, so I'll be diffusing it and paying my bills. Finance. So that's for the moms that have homework, or the kids that have math assignments, I suppose. Vetiver, and then here's the last one. This I was saving the best for last. Brain power.
Brain power. That has been on my list and keeps getting shut down.
I like to put it right on my brain stem, let it soak in, help me focus
I
a
might
little
have
bit.
to steal a few drops.
And it's not like the world's best smell, but for whatever reason, that one really does it for me. Between brain power and clarity, it helps me rein my thoughts in so I can be more productive. So there you guys go, brain power. Too bad you guys can't be here to smell these with us, because I think you'd really like brain
I really
power.
like to use clarity and then another blend called energy
I was just gonna say
together.
I didn't have that one,
I didn't bring my oils. I have
but
it.
energy smells like genius.
Energy has black pepper in it, so I put it on the bottom of my feet so I don't have to smell it. And then clarity
Yeah.
across the forehead and on the brainstem.
Another one I don't have that I think is really good for it is Awaken.
I have awakened.
You have Awaken,
I
and I
do.
smelled that for the first time at the Young Living Convention. I thought, oh, I might have to get that one.
Yeah, I like awaken too. Awaken works really good with both clarity and energy.
Yeah. And if you're not certain, because we just listed a whole bunch of oils, if you're not certain, start with what you already have. There's always something in the starter kit for everybody.
Frankincense.
Frankincense is in the starter kit. Lemon, which has that uplifting. Peppermint helps wake up the mind. Those, you've got some options right there to get started with.
And even some of the blends have some of the oils that you might use for focus. So it's in the blend, so you could use that.
Yeah. So there's always an option. And then, in fact, I think we've mentioned just about every single oil that's in the starter kit so far, except for Stress Away, which just come in. So there's options there. Start with what you have. The other thing is use your reference guide and see what seems to fit the bill best for you. You'll notice as you read through it and learn about what's in the different blends, you'll start deciphering things that you're just drawn to. Basil, like I said, it's one thing I've learned that I really love. So a lot of the blends I'm finding I'm enjoying all of those.
Another person that I'm talking to with the about the oil, she really loves basil, and she feels like it just really awakens her and gives her that mental lift.
Isn't that funny? I think you're drawn to certain ones. Somebody said, or we were talking about it, that sometimes essential oils are like, we were talking about homeopathic remedies and
Yes.
comparing them to, with a homeopathic remedy, it said that you have a constitutional remedy, one that is always right for your system. And I think sometimes the oils are that way too. Like I said,
Absolutely.
lavender and my daughter are just, they're BFFs. If I'm not sure what to do, it's lavender, always. And Jackson, he likes some of the oddest ones, but he likes tarragon, he likes digize, and it's just what he's drawn to. So I thought that was kind of funny. So you got some of that. Let's see, a few other ones. Orange is super inexpensive. I think it's the cheapest oil they sell. Great for just an emotional lift. And Roman chamomile were some of the others I've written down that I don't have.
I don't have Roman chamomile
Yeah.
either. You don't
So-
have orange?
I have orange. I just didn't put it out. I put
Oh.
tangerine out.
Okay.
For
I
today.
like tangerine.
I do like that. I like the way it smells better with cedarwood in the diffuser. So let's see, I gave my recipes: cedarwood, lavender, vetiver, and frank or sacred frank. And if you have the black spruce, Northern Lights black spruce, you can even add a couple drops of that. That's my focus roller. And then the other thing, the emotional and social stresses that sometimes are inherent with being in a building of 5,000 of your peers.
That's stressful for any of us, let alone for children.
Right? And especially teenagers, it's especially such a difficult age.
They say teenagers go through the same growth spurt as babies do from 0 to 2, but it's all in their brain.
Yeah.
So that's why they need the extra sleep, because their brain is doing what their body did as a baby.
And then they've got the huge shift in hormones.
Right.
So there's a lot of things that come along just naturally with them becoming adults. So I picked out a few that I thought would work for different scenarios. Test stress, for example, that's, I think, a real concern anymore with children. And a few of my favorites are Aroma Ease, which you can, it smells amazing. This is one that they recommend for topical use. And it's got a lot of spearmint to it. Have you smelled that one? You pass it
I
around.
have aromas.
And this one my daughter likes to use too. She tends to get the butterflies in the stomach feeling. She's like a super cautious child for 4. And so this is the one she usually uses. You like it?
Yeah.
Spearminty. Maybe a little bit more like the tummy jives and the digest mixed together.
Yeah.
So I like that one. Peppermint, which is really good for test concentration. Was it at the school your girls went to where they would give them peppermints when they were studying and then peppermints when they took the test to help them recall?
No, it wasn't, but it was a study that I read.
Oh, okay. So that's
But-
pretty cool.
Just on a side note, my son-in-law Josh was taking some tests to pass for his different things he was doing for work, and he used the oils as he was studying. So he would study a section, smell the oil. So then he took the oils with him. He wasn't allowed to bring any jewelry or anything, so he put it on his collar, and he passed the test first time, which is unheard of for these life insurance type tests.
Wow. No idea. I love peppermint. It's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, peppermint's
of
great.
What I have.
And then I think it goes without saying, test stress and stress away go together.
Yes. Stress Away is just such an amazing smell. It's very calming, spa-like, but yet the lime just
Yeah.
is uplifting.
And Amy's heard this story 1,000 times, but I have 3 children, and mommy needs vacations daily. So Stress Away is my mini vacation in a bottle. Sometimes it's like 5 minutes to lunch, it's not ready, and everybody's all of a sudden starving. And me and Stress Away escape into the bathroom, and I sit there and I rub it into my shoulders, and I rub it all through my hair, and I do just that. And I just give myself a minute, taking several deep breaths with the Stress Away, and I could feel my shoulders just relax. I love that. And then I could go out and face the 3 hungry monsters again. So those are great for test stress. Another thing is I was thinking about girls and the difficulties of being in the social environment with other girls all the time. And some of them are just bullies and nitpick. And sometimes it's our own girls that become that person. They don't even want to be, but it's, hormones are playing havoc on them at the time. So a few things that I love to keep us kind of more even keel is Dragon Time. I don't have the regular oil, I only have the massage oil. And I like to use this. I usually rub it on my feet and around my ankles. And a few other ones. This one, Gary Young had listed as his happy protocol, which is great for young girls. And these are more floral, so you might not like them as well, but try it. Valor. We're back to Valor. We were talking about putting a drop on your wrist and letting your energies balance. Joy. Putting that over your heart, and these are probably chakra related, but I'm not sure how I learned that one. Joy over the heart, harmony over your solar plexus, and then white angelica, which is great. And I don't mean to sound like all airy fairy, but it's great for like giving yourself an extra layer of protection from negative people. it's a great one to wear around. It's a great one to wear in like a service group. And I mean that just because, and to be quite honest, some people absorb negativity more than others.
I absorb people's emotions.
Yeah, you absorb.
insanely.
Yeah, it's not even negativity, just their emotions. What they're feeling becomes your feelings. That is a great one. If you're a teacher, White Angelica.
I wonder if that would work for absorbing other people's hormones.
It
'Cause
might.
I tend to do that as well.
There you go. You could try
I'll have
that.
to try that.
Even with being around the babies, you probably start to pick up on some of that. But White Angelica is great for that, and that was one of my, also in my top 5s.
What do you
White
think of that
Angelica.
one?
Yeah, it's good.
It is a little
Not
florally,
too
but
bad
there's
though. Really strong.
it's good. I like White Angelica. And so having our girls use
That
something
one
like
more.
that on a regular basis, if they could do it daily before they go to school, it would be great for them. Just to kind of give them that extra layer of protection so they're not always picking up on the vibe from these other girls at school. And then here's a few others. And then this is just about to wrap it up. But a few of my favorites. Friends. This is a good one for the kids to use in social settings. Gathering. This would be great if they had a group project or something to study for. This one is for my 4-year-old, Gratitude.
Gratitude.
And I know that sounds crazy, but little kids tend to be extremely selfish. It's just their nature. And this was the sweetest story. My husband came down last night. He's like, wow, that gratitude oil really works. I'm like, what are you talking about? He says, well, I let her use it. She rubs it over her heart before bed. And he said, after that, she was thanking God for everybody she knew in her prayer. It was really cute.
And Shannon Hudson suggested using gratitude to help retrain your brain. I don't know if any of you think about a smell that can take you like right back into your grandma's kitchen. For me, it's the green palm olive. I smell green palm olive and I end up back in my grandma's little kitchen in Virginia. So you can use the oils that way as well. So whenever you're having negative emotions, you can take the oil and smell it and say a positive affirmation. What that does is helps your brain to refocus, especially if you say it 3 times, to refocus, and your brain will actually keep that in a loop going. So then the oil will help you retain that and create those new pathways so that you can have those more positive thoughts going on.
Isn't it true too that a smell will take you somewhere in an instant? Like, oh, that reminds me of.
And it's the same too when you're meditating, when you're reading God's word. It's what goes into our brains. So using the oils to help us to create those pathways is really helpful, especially to retrain the negative thoughts that we tend to have.
Another one, and this is kind of comical, is common sense. Some kids really need this one. And that goes for all levels and ages. And then another one that I think would be great for studying, especially if they're doing a higher level class, is highest potential. And really, I suppose not even a higher level class, helping any child reach their highest potential is important. So those are the oils I think would be great for various social situations or emotional situations. Jackson just came up and he wants to show one of his favorite oils. So come around here and show it, Jack. And I'll look over my notes, make sure I didn't miss anything.
Did you miss wintergreen?
Come over here, they can't see you. Right here between Evie and
Hello.
Let's take a step forward. Why do you like wintergreen so much?
Yep.
You can have it. You can.
Did you get camera shy?
You make all kinds of videos.
Yeah, you got your own YouTube channel. He likes wintergreen. He likes to diffuse wintergreen. He likes any of the mints, pretty much.
I like.
And Panaway.
That's good too.
You look for peppermint.
I like this one. Peppermint. And Panaway, that one's so good.
Yeah, it's funny. Let's see. We had the kit for probably 6 months, and I don't think I had even opened the bottle of Panaway.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to use it for. And Jackson opened it one day and he smelled it. He's like, "That's great." He ended up diffusing the entire bottle over like the next 3 months. That's what he wanted every night before bed. You'd think calming and relaxing ones, but that was what did it for him.
But peppermint does the opposite.
What's that?
For me.
Does it wake you up?
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? So let's see. Oh, there's one other, or a couple other oils that are great that I didn't have. M-Grain.
Lavender?
From like we talked about lavender. We talked about that one. These are for like the occasional stresses and some of the effects that come with it. You
What
might get
about
some
thieves?
tension, head tension, and things like that. Thieves is good. I actually do like that one for if I'm feeling like my head is starting to like my kids are getting to me.
Stress away?
Petitgrain is another good one. Stress Away is a good one. All of that would work. And then we talked about for butterflies in the stomach. And then social woes. We talked about valor and harmony. Peace and calming would also work for that. Peace and calming would be great for a kid in a diffuser necklace or a diffuser bracelet to have at school. And tranquil, if they can take that as just a roll-on, they could keep it in their bag. Some schools will let you have them, some won't there. So just check with the people there. And then don't forget your teachers when you're getting ready for back to school and planning. I'm sure you guys found something in here that would fit anybody in the family. If you haven't already started with the starter kit, that's the way to go. You get the diffuser, you get these 10 oils plus Stress Away, which is right here. And so you'll end up with peppermint and lavender and frankincense and thieves, purification, panaway, copaiba, RC, lemon, digize, and stress away. And I think we talked about every single one of those that would fit in with some situation that you could use.
Copaiba is the main ingredient in Stress Away.
Oh, that's true too. It has a really mild scent to it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll put it on before Stress Away just to get that extra kind of relaxation going on. I like it for that. So when you're thinking of teachers' gifts, get your teacher a diffuser necklace, put some Stress Away in it, get her a little roller ball of Stress Away, then she will love you forever, and you'll feel like you've got an instant bond with her for the rest of the school year. So that's that. Oh, you know, the other things I didn't mention was the Ninja comes in the packets, so there's that, but was nitro, and this is good for focus too. I use it myself. It says right under cognitive fitness. I thought it was going to be like 5-hour energy when I took it, and I've heard it made that comparison. This is their answer to 5-hour energy. But for me, it's like mentally, it makes all the difference. But I don't usually lack physical energy either. I'm usually good with that. I have to chase them around. Maybe it's just a matter of what I've got to do. But it's like by the end of the day, I can't think anymore. Don't even ask me a question. And that gives me the extra to get through it. Did you have any questions, Stephanie? I know, I just talked a whole lot. I think I've actually gotten hoarse from it. What about you, Mamie?
I'm all good.
So that's it, guys. You guys can send any questions that you have to me through Twitter at Leah Jervis. You can send them to me on Facebook. It's Teddy, the letter N, Leah Jervis. Instagram, I'm Leah Jervis on Instagram, or I have a page where I just do oily posts, which is Essential Oiling. And you could also visit my webpage, essentialoiling.com. Which is where this video will be posted for a replay if you wanted to share it with anybody. But I thank you all for joining me, and I thank you, Stephanie and Amy, for helping me with this class.
You're welcome.
All right.
I'm super happy to be here.
Bye, everybody.